Gotta change this, la la la. Pray God. Oh, that's weird. Okay, hey. Hola. Gente. Good morning. Good morning. Let me do this so my old-timey eyes can see this. Good morning, Mimi. Good morning, TNDR, Potter of Two. Welcome. Welcome. Smiles, everyone. Smiles. Welcome to Fantasy Island, right? Ashley, German Maid, nice to see you. Louise, Pinky. Love this. People filing in, coming off the little biplane onto Fantasy Island. Irish Pink Milo, good to see you. Very cool. Oh, thank you. Love my shirt. Here's a bump. Like, I am wearing this, I have to say, kind of in memory of Pee Wee Herman. I can't talk about it too much because I'll get all verklempt, but man, oh Manischewitz was Pee Wee's Playhouse and just Paul Rubens, such an instrumental person in my life, even though I was technically too old to watch Pee Wee's Playhouse. I was in like college and out of college for a while, but man, did he help me. So much so that I think if you can see over here in one of those things, that's why my Pee Wee's Playhouse lunchbox that I used to carry my 35 millimeter film camera in back in the day. And I keep it because it just reminds me of him. So I thought I'd wear something cheery. I forget the name of the designer who did this. I think I saw it on Instagram, and it's one of my shirts that I wear a lot. And I thought I would just, cheer things up a bit. Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Ho Ho Ho, right? Oh my gosh. Seriously, my husband and I, we pretty much don't go a day without quoting something Pee Wee. It is so intertwined into my Gen X, my pop culture, like nobody's business. Yes. But anywho, the other thing too is that I will just give a quick shout out, or not shout out, but somebody yesterday asked me what stuff I use in my hair. And of course, yesterday somebody said my hair looked good. And I'm like, of course it does, because I'm just about to get it cut. So I got it cut. I'm still fussing it out. But this is what I use. It's called Frenzy Style Matte Texturizing Paste. This is not a infomercial, please. If there's anything, I'm kind of irritated by some of the marketing of these people that they do, but it's the stuff that works on my hair. I've tried many other things that would work. So anyhow, for the person who's asking about what I use in my hair, that's what I use. Here's where we're at. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in and pull yourself up a chair. Let the fun begin. It's time to let down your hair. If you know, you know. We're here to talk about clutter. We're here to talk about getting stuck. Good morning, Minnesota girl. So nice to see people joining in. Let me do this. Okay, so I have decided this is how my brain works, and I love how my brain works. So for the next 57 minutes, I'm going to be here answering your questions. Motivation, inspiration, muppetational, celebrational, wacky, nutty, cuckoo, all that. To get you from stuck to started with decluttering your life and your home. And when I say decluttering, really decluttering is removing the items that don't do it for you anymore, or maybe they never did. Decluttering is not getting rid of the cool stuff. And here's the thing I want to share with you that I decided to do on my morning walk, because yesterday I impromptu posted a video that I was going to do anyway about sentimental clutter, because I know that sentimental clutter is a thing that everybody struggles with. And so I want to do a deep dive into that, because I really want to help and at least give some support, some suggestions, thought processes. So what I'm going to do is in 56 minutes, I will stop this TikTok live, if only to get it so that TikTok then makes this one segment, because I upload these to the Destination Decluttered Destination Decluttered YouTube channel so people can watch them. But then I'm going to immediately start another one. Now it's only going to be for about a half an hour or so. I haven't quite figured it out, but I thought it'd be fun. And I'm literally going to do nothing but kind of riff on and help with and go through some of my own sentimental items. Some of you notice that I do own sentimental items. These things aren't empty. They're not just there for show. I get stuff in them. And sentimental. I'm tired of hauling heirlooms. So notice that. But also, I also want to do on the flip side that if you have stuff you love, it's okay. Now, it's interesting because as a sentimental person, I have stuff, but it doesn't mean it clutters up my life. It doesn't mean that I feel it weighs me down. If anything, I noticed how much it lit me up. Like I was so excited when I started to go through this little diner that I have. So I'm going to go through that, and then we're going to just talk about sentimental clutter. So there's like a special episode of Blossom or whatever. There's a special episode that I'm going to do at 10 o'clock Eastern, TikTok Live from 10 to about 10:30, all about sentimental clutter. Okay, there we go. But right now, clutter in general, clutter. Couple things. Hey, if we've not met before, my name is Beth. Destination Decluttered. Just remember that it's not about me; it's about you. And I call it Destination Decluttered because I want you to think of this is the method I use. If your life is cluttered right here, before you even start to declutter it, ask yourself what you want it to look like, what you want it to feel like, and how you want it to function. Those 3 questions. If you answer, what do I want my home to look like? Life to look like? What do I want it to feel? How do I want to feel in my home? And what do I want my home to function? Get those thoughts out of your head, write them down onto paper so we know where we're aiming for. I treat things like a road trip, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure road trip. And this is how we break it down. I make it fun. I make it simple. Okay? There we go. Kate in Texas just said, I sent a few of my mom's things back to a museum in Arkansas last week. How freaking cool is that? You know, how cool it is. That is really awesome of you to get the things to where people will enjoy them. If they're not doing it for you, that's okay. You don't have to like somebody else's stuff. Doesn't mean you don't love them because you don't love their stuff. But what you can do is remove the items that don't do it for you and find a way to get them closer to the people who are going to dig them. Right? Kelly is saying, I'm working on physical decluttering, but I'm seeing how important clearing my mind of clutter is. Amen. Testify, sister. And what I want to offer to you is this. Where's my notebook here? In the middle of stuff here. Get the stuff, the overwhelm, your thoughts. You have so many good thoughts. You have so many unhelpful thoughts. You have so many thoughts that are all strubling up here, right? The guaranteed way to clear your mind of clutter is to get it out of your mind and get it onto paper. Take the thoughts in your head. I have a video about this. Dump it like a pot of swirling spaghetti into a colander. Chunk it down. Put it down. Write it down. Right? When you clear your mind of clutter, it gives you clarity. It also is like cleaning your home of clutter. You'll notice the combo. And the best thing to do is you have to sort it before you store it. So when you are going through your physical stuff, you need to dump out a drawer and then sort it into categories and decide, do I want to keep this or not? It's the same cool process. You dump out your thoughts and you say, do I want to keep this thought or not? Now, I am a certified life coach, so my method intertwines. Did somebody say wish? My method intertwines the thoughts, feelings, and actions portion of the show, because when you have a thought that's not so helpful, it keeps you stuck. So why do you want to keep an unhelpful thought? What you can do is you can transform that thought, kind of flip it onto the other side of your brain, say, on the other hand, which I like to say, because I'm always doing this about anxiety, calming my anxiety by going down the median and say, okay, on the other hand, what's a more helpful thought that I can think about my stuff to help me feel better so that I release it or keep it because I want to have my life look, feel, and function like I've already decided, okay? So, yep, that way more people can enjoy them. I have making lists and journaling more. Yes, amen. Callie Rose, I love it. There we go. Swanee is saying, I gave my mom's canning stuff to a cousin who cans. Brings me joy to know it's being used. Notice how it's a win-win. You feel the joy that it's being used, and the person who gets it is feeling joy too. You know, sold 3 shelf units on Facebook Marketplace last night. Jill, grateful, love it. Notice how sometimes, and this came up on a coaching call yesterday, and I found it myself. Notice this, my friends. Notice how too much storage can make it even more difficult to declutter because you have too many options, too many places to put it. This is, again, that kind of just right feeling. I have just the right amount of storage for the things I need. I don't need anything more. I say this because, like, I've got this IKEA shelving unit behind me. I also used to have 2 other shelving units on the other side of the room here. There's some before pictures on the internet around here you can see. And then I just had more options of putting stuff out there. It enabled me to avoid making decisions because I technically had a home. But when I looked into this room, it looked cluttered, and I didn't like how it looked or felt. So then I made decisions about the things that were on the shelves. I realized I didn't need or want like 80% of them. And then I gave away the bookcases so I wasn't encouraged to store more. Okay? Just part of the process. All right. So here's the thing. Somebody says, I would love someone who has canning stuff they want to pass along. You never. Now my brain is trying to sing Fraggle Rock. Now I will say Fraggle Rock, Irish Pink, maybe you're a few years younger. That one I do not know. But man, when I was on my morning walk this morning, I was singing the Pee-wee's Playhouse theme. I had that whole written out before this is how old school and how old I am, is I used to record Pee-wee's Playhouse episodes on a VCR recorder before they even came out on VHS. And when the episodes of Pee-wee's Playhouse came out on VHS tapes, I bought them at like Suncoast Video. No, I don't even know. Hollywood something or other. But yeah. Okay, here's this. Anastasia for real. Unfortunately, went to a thrift shop and bought an old video camera. Have tiny tape camera, might not work. That's not unfortunate. Play it, have fun. See if it works. If it works, great. This is what we do, okay? Okay. Notice how, a couple of things I want to share that's going to help. So simple. This is what we do as humans. We see things out in the world. We have our lives. We see things out in our world that make us go, oh, hey, that could be interesting, fun. That could make my life better in some way. So Anastasia, you said, and pardon me if I'm jamming up your name, I apologize. You said, I saw this thing out in a thrift shop, and you were like, oh, that could be cool. I'd bring this into my world. We all do it. I'm out at Target. I see this thing that's lime green. I may bring it into my world. You think it's going to make your world better in one way, shape, or form. The next step is you try that thing out, and you discover whether it makes your life better or not. Now, you may find that this old video camera with tiny tapes, it may work. It may be fun. Yay, rock. You keep it. You use it. You may find it doesn't work. Oh well, didn't work, thought it was going to work, doesn't work. Don't hang on to it if it doesn't work. Either get it fixed if you really want to use it, or pass it on to somebody else who might want it. Maybe they're going to do something different with it. That process of seeing something you think is going to make your life better, trying it on, and then deciding if it works, I want to keep it. If it doesn't work, I'm going to give it away. That is the cycle of how we get stuff into our lives. And if we get the clutter in our lives is when we are hanging on to the things that don't work. You know, like notice how GGX2000 says with clothes, and notice you have a thought. I always find myself saying, because it's a thought and a phrase up in your head, they don't make clothes like this anymore. I keep them. Okay, nothing wrong with that. And boy, are you right that they don't make clothes that they used to anymore. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not so good, because I don't want to be in a corset or a girdle or like an itchy, like, you know, even if it's Chanel, an itchy like suit. Bleh. However, ask yourself, are you wearing those clothes? And if the answer is no, then give yourself an option. Wear the clothes. If you're not wearing the clothes, ask yourself why. Maybe they don't fit. Maybe they're uncomfortable. Maybe they're out of season. Maybe they're out of style. Maybe it makes you look dumpy. I don't know. You've got your own thoughts and feelings about it. But just get curious. Judgment and unhelpful feelings keep you stuck. Helpful feelings and curiosity and love open things up. Just get curious. Are you wearing them or not? If you're wearing them, it's not clutter. Find a place to put them away and boom, decluttered. What you probably have, though, is stuff that you're not wearing or using. That's the stuff that's in the way. That is the clutter. That's the stuff that's not doing it for you anymore that you just need to remove from your living area, so all you're left with is the stuff that you love and the stuff that makes you feel good and the stuff that functions well. You know? There we go. Oh, God, it's so hard to cram a small business into my home without causing clutter. Folklorica soap. I bet you make soap, right? But notice, if you have a thought, just notice this with everything. I'm just throwing this out there as a way of kind of running your scripts. Is it's so hard to cram a small business into my home without causing clutter. What you're going to be doing is feeling like you're cramming your business into your home and causing clutter, right? If you say, how can I run my small business in my home without causing clutter? Get curious about it. How can I? Then I'm not cramming my business. Is there stuff that's no longer doing it for you in your small home that you could remove the stuff that's no longer working for you to do the things you want to do now and in your future? That's kind of what decluttering is all about, even if you're not creating a small business in your home, is you have stuff in the past that has accumulated because of who you were. I've got my Pee-wee's Playhouse stuff, right? I've got, these things right here. Then saying, who am I today? What's important to me today? I will say, my Pee-wee stuff is still important to me. I've got his little smidges is all over the place. So I keep that stuff. But the stuff that doesn't do it for me anymore, I have released back out into the wild to connect up with somebody else. That has given me space, more space for the things that are important to me now. And in my life right now, physical things aren't as important, but having space, calm space, and making it easier to clean is important to me. And I know that that's the future I want, a simpler, more easy to maintain and function home. Okay, just notice that. I'm opposite. I have to throw things out or I feel anxious. Notice that. You have a thought about something that makes you feel anxious, throwing things out. Okay? Ooh, 27 new messages. All right, I'm going to get to those in a second, but let me just do this real quick because it's like 1:15, and it reminds me of when I was in college radio back in the 80s, okay? So I told you that for those of you who are just meeting me for the first time, Beth, Destination Decluttered. What I'd love to do is also just let you know about many ways that I can help you. And I know this sounds like a commercial break, and maybe it is, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff if you're struggling with clutter and stuff, because I do TikTok lives. I have a schedule that I pin, so you know where to find me. It's pinned to the top of my TikTok page. If you haven't liked my TikTok page, if you could, that would be really cool. I think what that does is amplifies my signal to other people who are struggling with clutter. But that also will show you when I do show up live, because I do the scheduled lives, but I do a pop-up lives occasionally when I feel like it, because this is how I roll. Like, for example, I was on my morning walk this morning and I decided I'm going to do my normal promised one hour TikTok live, but then I'm going to move to the other room and just talk about sentimental clutter. So I'm going to do that from 10 to 10:30. When you follow my page, you get a notification when I go live, so that helps you. I also have an email mailing list you can hop onto. I do a real lot of cool stuff for the people just on the mailing list. We do free workshops. I'm thinking of doing another workshop I'm going to follow up on about kind of scheduling your time. I do a monthly Zoom call, a group Zoom call just for the people on the mailing list. You get first dibs on any coaching consultations that I do, because I do one-on-one coaching. If you're interested in that, you can do that, learn about that. And all of that happens if you just go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com. You're going to find, if you go to the join page, you can sign up for the mailing list. You can schedule a consultation if you want to do one-on-one coaching with me. I do one-on-one coaching, declutter coaching via Zoom, 10-week package, paid coaching, learn all about it. And that, I think, is about it. But that's how I help. I used to be cluttered and a hot mess. I have learned through decades of what not to do and then what to do. And I want you to benefit from my years of messing stuff up. I want to give you all killer, no filler. Okay? So that's why I'm here today. All right? Now, that being said, 42 new messages. Whoa! There we go. I've never made a workshop, but hope to soon. Kate in Texas, let me tell you this. If you are on the Destination Decluttered mailing list, the cool thing is you will get, and if you haven't, send me a message. I just sent out the recordings, the links to the recordings of the workshop. So just because you haven't made it live doesn't mean you can't benefit from it, because they're workshops that you can kind of follow along and pretend they're live. Okay, another great reason to get on the mailing list. Okay, what else? Is that a meow? No, I don't have a cat, but I got the windows open. It might be, I get birds in the, birds outside, because it's finally not so humid out. I'm glad you got the email. What do we got here? Okay, I'm going to scroll back a little bit. Here we go. And see where we are. Too much storage, yep. Any advice on decluttering clothes and very small random items. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, decluttering clothes, I will mention this because it's easier. Small random items. I myself am a little bit of a collector of small random items, right? I got a few of them here. But we'll deal with clothing first, okay? So the basics are, right? Thinking of a couple of things that are going to set you up. Everybody, this is going to help you. Think of your clutter in 3 layers: surface, stored, and sentimental. Clothing usually is in the stored section. So what that means is that you have the stuff behind doors and drawers, right? Okay? Before you even start decluttering your clothing, ask yourself why you're doing it. What's your goal? Your goal will probably be, and I'm just going to throw it out there because we're not having a two-way here, but I'll plant this seed. My goal in decluttering my clothes is to only have the clothes that I enjoy wearing in my storage, so that I can easily grab clothes and put them on, and I don't have to think about it too much, to know that they're going to fit, that I feel like I look good in them, that they're comfortable to me, all of that. So before you even start it, ask yourself why you're doing it and write it down. Get excited about how good it's going to feel when all you do is see clothing that fits you, that looks good, and all that stuff. Because I bet you have some clothing in your collection of clothing right now, in your stored clothing, that probably is making you feel not so good. Maybe it's stuff you're not wearing. Maybe it's the stuff that you're not wearing because you don't fit into it anymore, or you spent a lot of money for it and it's not working out, or it's uncomfortable. You thought it was going to be comfortable. Notice I said earlier, you see something in the world, you think it's going to make your life better, you bring it in. If it works, you use it. That's not clutter. The stuff that is in your life that doesn't work for you is the clutter. And when you hang on to it, that's what clutters up your life. Just notice that. And then when you remove it, all you're left with is the stuff that does work, that does fit. So when you say decluttering clothes, I would say this: if you are saving clothes of a size, because this comes up, that is not of the size that your body is right now, and you have a thought that you want to be that size in the future, do this. Pull all those clothes out of circulation. All the clothes that do not fit you of a certain size, pull them out of circulation so they're not cluttering up the stuff that's in circulation, because you're not fitting into it. Put them in a clear plastic tote. Put a label on it. Say, stored on today's date, you guys, August 1st. We're in the 8th month of the year. Time is flying. If you want to get decluttered, oh my God, just sign up for coaching. It's the easiest, quickest way to get there. All right. But I put away these clothings on August 1st. 6 months from now, August, September, October, November, December, January. Give yourself 6 months to change the size of your body to fit into those if you choose to do so. Or depending upon what the sizes are, you may need longer, but say use by, fit into by, create yourself a destination of fit into these clothes by. Like I was just on a coaching call with somebody and who says she just had a birthday and next year she's already planning that birthday and she's wanting to do stuff so that next year on her birthday she looks and feels different. Put away the clothes. Give yourself the opportunity to become that person, knowing that in order to become that size, you will need to change your habits in order to change the result, and give yourself the opportunity to do so. In the meantime, you have gotten those things out of the way, so you're wearing the clothes that you've decided you like and everything. And then if you, in that time frame, if you're able to change your habits and your body, rock on. Yay, you get to wear those clothes. You know where they are. But if you do it and you decide maybe that's too much effort, I don't feel like doing it, I want to just love myself the way I am, whatever reason, that's also okay. But then what you can do is say, you know what, I'm probably not going to fit in those clothes again. You can immediately take those totes because you've already categorized them. You can dump the tote into a bag and then donate the clothes someplace. Okay? Yes, I did know he died. That's why I'm talking about Pee-wee a lot. Okay, so I hope that helped with the clothing. Same thing with small sentimental items. Now, I will say, I need to watch myself with sentimental or little tiny things. Actually, there's a video on my TikTok page that I did at my sister's house a few months ago because she was all excited because we both come from a collector type family, or decluttered or a cluttered family. And she said how she bought these big like glass pickle jars, and then she puts in all these little kind of the memorabilia and things. so she can see it, but it's all in one place and you can move it. It doesn't look as cluttery. I deal with my little bits and pieces by a couple of things. I have little containers that I've put them in. I also have totally kind of put on the brakes of accumulating more little bits and pieces and stuff, but I'll share with this because I'm not plugged in right now. Let me see if I can do this. I have a really nice, clean office right now. See, it's nice and clean and spacious when you look into it from the door. But if I go this way, I have some shelves. See right up there? I get some shelves right there that I look at my little bits and pieces. I'm going to put Pee-wee up there. He was there for a while, but he's going to go up there with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He may even replace Henry Ford. Let's see, we've got a few different things. This is like my inspiration wall. And I keep that stuff, but what I do is I keep it containerized. I don't have it spread around, cluttered up. I have it in small places. I have it at a place where only I can see. If you looked into my office, and this is a tip that I got when I was in retail management and visual merchandising for like practically decades with Pure Win Imports, but looking at it from the way an outside person would look at it. And to me, I see nice spacious stuff, reminds me of Palm Springs. But then I like my little bits and pieces, but only I see this and this motivates me, right? There we go. Okay, so hope that helps. Yes, sentimental clutter is a big thing for me. Good, because you know what? In about a half an hour, I'm going to get out of my office. I'm going to walk to the living room, and we're going to talk about sentimental clutter for a complete half an hour. I will record that one too, so if you can't stick around for that one, I will record it and put it on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel, so you can rewatch it then. So hope that helps. Okay. Do you have any workshop suggestions on downsizing? Probably going from 3,000 square feet to 2,000 square feet next year, Karen Cat. Excuse me. Yes. I don't actually know. I don't have any workshops, but my suggestion is start now. Start right now. Even if you're not going to go from 3,000 square feet to 2,000 square feet next year, you can make your 3,000 square feet feel so much better, and you can be prepped for a thing. You can be prepped for a move should it happen. The thing about decluttering is no matter how much space you have, the whole deal is saying to yourself, and this is, again, this may be a different approach than everybody else, but this is the one that works for me and resonates and has gotten real good success with so many of my clients, all of them, is who I was then. I have clutter. I have stuff in my life. Let's make it so crystal clear. I have items, physical objects in my living area, my living space, and maybe in external storage. I have physical objects in my life that come from my past. And they have a variety of, some of them are surface, stored, and sentimental. But all of them are from my past. Even if your past is yesterday. Today, who am I today? Today's neighborhood drugstore, CVS, anybody? Pam? Today's neighborhood drugstore, CVS, today. Cracking myself up, always do. Who are you today? Do the things that worked for you in the past work for you right now? The answer can be yes. The answer can be no. It's going to be a mix. The stuff that works for you, keep it. Use it. Love it. Call it George. You know, the stuff that doesn't work for you anymore, know that it's okay that it doesn't work for you. And by removing it from your life, you are creating space in your life for who you are now and also who you want to be in the future, because you've already said to yourself, what's my destination? Why am I decluttering? Because I want to feel better now and in the future. Okay, so I would say this, Karen, Kat, everybody. I literally wrote a note to myself on my because I text myself stuff and put it on my Trello board. Any of you who were on my workshop about decluttering your schedule, you'll know that as I mentioned, I do electronic versions of this. So I pop open my Trello app on my phone while I'm on my morning walk, and I say, oh, this would be a good video. And it was all about, if you think you're going to downsize at any point, and all of us are probably going to move at some point, start now. Start now while there's no pressure on you, so you can make informed decisions from right now. You're better prepared for it. It's so much more stressful and difficult and fraught. Even thinking about it gets me a little bit of a stressy part in my head, to make these decisions about your stuff when you're under pressure. So don't do it when you're under pressure. Under pressure. Everybody's saying, don't do it while you're under pressure. Start now. Start now when the stakes are low, when you feel good, a little bit at a time right now. Even if it's next year, you could be ready. All right? Okay, somebody else says, seems that all my clutter, clothing, paperwork, kids' artwork is sentimental. Awesome. I will talk more about sentimental things in the next half an hour, but what I want to offer to everybody is, if you don't know what sentimental stuff is, you do. It's the stuff that you're keeping from your past that makes you feel a feeling in your heart. It tells you a story in your brain that makes you feel a feeling in your heart. Now, we keep those things because of those feelings and stories. And as I said in yesterday's video, and I will double down on this, even though I am a decluttering coach, I am in no way saying you need to get rid of all of your sentimental items. No. What I'm saying is, if they are cluttering up, if the quantities you have are too much, you need to sort them before you store them, and you need to decide, do I want to keep this item? And if I want to keep this item, is it about the item or is it about the story? And if it's about the story, is there a way I could take a picture of these items so that I could remember the story without having to keep the physical items? I'll get into it more in about a half an hour. As I said, I'm going to do an entire surprise special afternoon special edition. It's only going to be 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern of just sentimental clutter. But I just want to offer that to you. Just start to think about your stuff. There we go. All right. What do we get here? Yep, moving in 5 months and already 60% packed. Yeah, the neat thing is, Melissa, Irish Pink, I want to offer to you too. Do not be surprised about the stuff that you've packed now, the 60% packed. When you get to your new place, you may have packed too much. I offer to people, I would say, when you move into a new place, incrementally start to take things out. Notice the things that you actually do use on a daily basis, and then the things that you use less frequently. And you may still have boxes that you haven't opened up after a while, and just get curious about that. So you might need to and want to do another decluttering shortly after you move into your new place. But see how you live. You know, like honestly right now, like I have books, like we've been in this house for 20 years. So we have added some things. We might bring many things if we ever moved again. But I am not adding to that stuff. You know, there we go. Start now. Cleaning out lots of cookie jars way up high. I get it. I can almost imagine them. Faye Williams-Smith is saying, cookie jars way up high. They were fun. They were fun to collect. They were fun to have on display. But now they're dusty, and what the heck am I going to do with them? I'm Gen X. I know that feeling of delight when you, especially prior to eBay. Like, I don't know, you kids, there was a time when if you wanted to have cool stuff, you had to earn it the hard way, okay? There wasn't this thing called the internet. You had to go out to Brimfield. You had to go to thrift stores. It wasn't like hitting a button and all of a sudden it's dropping from the thing. You know, back in my day, right? There we go. This and that creation. I can't get rid of my art and craft supplies. Nobody says you have to, but it's a lot. Noticing you have the volume. So I stopped buying anymore. Yeah, love it. Love it. Till I get it under control. There we go. Okay, nurse by day, medium by night. I work as a travel nurse and move about every 3 months. I'm a hoarder in recovery. Any suggestions? Yes. Yes. I love that you're also on the move. So notice the thought that you have that makes you feel like you need to hoard. Just notice that. And notice that there could be another helpful thought. You could rewrite that unhelpful hoarder thought that makes you cling on to stuff and say, is there another way? The answer is yes. There is another way of being that would allow me to move every 3 months, being lighter, freer, more easy, more simple, less stress, less brain stress. I just came from traveling, and let me tell you how glorious it felt to have my carry-on bag and my check. I didn't even check a bag. I have 2 carry-ons. Even one of them seems too big right now. I was overseas, and in order to put it in the bin, I needed one that was a lot smaller. I realized how American-sized my luggage was, so I'm going to endeavor to get a much smaller one. And seeing how small it is, to just be like that, I don't have to pay for it, that I can easily maneuver it, that I wasn't like these people with these giant steamer trunks, and oh my God, my luggage is missing, and I can't move it, and it got damaged, and all my stuff. Like, the stuff can weigh you down. So if you want to be light, decide what you want to look and how you want to move around the earth and feel, and see the stuff that you travel with and see how much you actually use of it. Now, maybe you've pared it down to the bare essentials, the simple bare necessities, of life. That's okay. But if you haven't, like, I love to travel because I notice each time I've traveled recently, and I've been doing a lot of travel because one of my destinations for my life is doing more travel. And every time I do it, I get better at it. And what I do is I'm actually decluttering my own stuff when I am traveling, because I say, what do I need and what can I do without? That allows me to move through this life with more ease and light and less stress. So just notice about that. Sage and Thistle Apothecary is offering, I like to get rid of 10 items for every new item I bring into the house. That's a process that works for you. Rock on. Thank you for sharing it with everybody else. That might work for too. I love it. Anastasia for real was going to write family memories and copy to give each child a binder of the pictures. Sure, do that. That's awesome. The cool thing is too, I want to offer with that is the writing it and the binder and the copy. Just notice that we live in a digital world now. And is there an easier way for you to take the memories from your head, put them out somewhere where you can share them with somebody else, as well as the pictures? I say this because there are different ways you can do this too. You could walk around and do a video. You could sit and do a video and show people the stuff. And you could create a video and then just share a link to that they could watch, as opposed to here's a physical item that, granted, is distilled from all these items, but it's still a physical item. Maybe you want to do the both. Maybe you want to, in case the electricity goes out on the entire planet, and you can't get to the internet, maybe you want to do the book. Notice there's different ways you can do that, but notice with the sentimental stuff, it's not necessarily about the stuff, it's about the stories that the visuals unlock in you. And please, everybody, share your stories sooner rather than later. Okay? There we go. What else do we have? Okay. Melissa's saying 17 years in the same house, 3,300 square feet. My God, that's like double the size of my house. Notice you say ugh as opposed to yay, right? And I want to say, what would make you say yay? We've been 18 years in this house, and we came in with way too much because we were cluttered people. And I want to say, if you're going to stay in that house, or if you want to move, decluttering is going to help you feel better. Misunderstood, I will kind of piggyback on that when you say, do you have any tips for anxiety? Because Melissa and everybody, and Lulu who 469, action is the antidote to anxiety. But notice, if your home is making you feel ugh, it's probably making you feel anxious. How can you, if you want to feel less anxious, decrease the amount of stuff in your home that doesn't do it for you? Now, here's a fun thing too. So any tips for anxiety? Yes, I do. So here's the simple tip I share all the time with my clients, because it also helps with the notion of reminding yourself that you have thoughts in your head, H, that make you feel a way in your heart, H, and it's usually discouraged or encouraged. I like to kind of just use those two as a basis. And when you think, your head and your heart make you do something with your hands. If you have unhelpful thoughts, they make you feel lousy and ugh and discouraged, and you do nothing. You stay stuck. But on the other hand, you can create a more helpful thought that makes you feel encouraged, and then you will take the action to change your stuff. Now, when you said anxiety, what I say is this: get something. It can be a pen. I happen to have this ball on my thing. Where's my little? Oh, here we go. I have this like little globe, right? Get something that you can, a quarter, a pen, anything, a crumpled up piece of paper. And if you're feeling anxious, take a few deep breaths and just pass something from one hand to the next. What this does is this crosses kind of this invisible line that I love to think about when I am when I am coaching. I will tell people to fold a piece of paper in half, because there's always another side. On the other side, what's the opposite? And when I do this, I like to say, on the other hand, I can have this other unhelpful thought that's causing me anxiety. But I can say, on the other hand, this is the other hand. What's a more helpful thought that will keep me feeling better in my heart so I do something better with my hand? So try this. Try this and marry it with, barnacle it on, habit stack it onto. All right, am I feeling anxious about stuff? Do I have thoughts that are keeping me stuck and spinning? Slow it down, take some deep breaths. On the other hand, the world is your oyster, even if you don't like oysters. On the other hand, you can create a more helpful thought that makes you feel better in your heart, a more helpful thought in your head that makes you feel better in your heart, that makes you go do something with your clutter, with your life. It makes you take action. And action, verb, that's what's happening. Action is where it's at. You stay stuck here, you're up here in your head. What you need to do is you need to do stuff with your hands, but doing stuff with your hands informed by what you want your life to look and feel like, your home to look and feel like. Okay? Hope that helps. There you go. Nothing wrong with a few deep breaths. There's always the other hand, okay? I love it. So I love it that you're also sharing. Everybody here is sharing stuff about, what do you call it? Sentimental clutter. What I want to offer to you too right now, since we have another kind of organic break in the things, I love globes too. It reminds me of, I'm really bad at, I was really bad. Notice I'm talking to myself better. I used to be not so great at geography, but I realized the more I looked at maps, and I have like this map of the U.S., I have a map of the U.S. over here, the world. I have maps all over the place because it helps me feel better. And what I want to offer with that notion of globes, when you feel overwhelmed, okay? When you feel overwhelmed, it feels like the world is above you. You're looking at things too big. It's like taking a picture and focusing on the entire globe as opposed to one little bit. That can make you feel stuck. When you look at things too big, when you're overwhelmed, you're stuck. On the other hand, you can get your Google map out. You can chunk things down. The opposite of overwhelm is chunking things down, is breaking things down, is writing things down and saying, I'm looking at this too big. How can I break this down into smaller pieces? And it's just like a road trip. I am here in Pennsylvania. I want to go to Palm Springs, right? I know it's a 40-hour drive. I can't make it, but what can I do today to hop in my car and get towards that? I am cluttered. I want to be decluttered. I want my life, my house is dark. I want it to feel light. It is messy. I want it to be clean. I feel stressed. I want to be calm. How do I get to that messy, that neat, calm, bright, peaceful feeling and look and function? I do something today. I do something. I take action. Okay? That's what's happening. Okay. I am decluttering in order. I have my team's room listening to you. People do that. I love it. Thank you, Christine, for shouting out for that, because it allows me to remind folks that when I'm doing these TikTok lives, when they're live or when they're recorded, please, I don't change. I mean, I did show that thing about going, what do you call this? I can't, I've got it on my notes here. I want to give you the fancy words for it. I just want to say it's, bilateral stimulation. Lateral. Bilateral stimulation. Two halves, two sides of the coin, two sides of the, on the flip side, as Davy Jones would have said to Marcia Brady, right? What I want to offer is sentimental items. We will get into those in about 15 minutes, but please do not pressure yourself to get rid of stuff unless you feel right about it, okay? And the other thing, too, is I got sidetracked because I got myself all nice in this kind of groovy Zen zone, so I'm going to put that down so I can focus. But you can watch these TikTok lives on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. I download them and I upload them there. I say this because there are times when you can't catch the lives. I do post a schedule for them so you know how to hang out with me and this cool group of people that show up. It's a nice little community, right? And you can just put it on and declutter. It's like a podcast that just happens to have a picture attached to it, but you don't need to see the picture. It's just me and my glasses, right? The other thing too is when I am not around, when I, at your convenience, when you are ready to declutter, you can go to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel and pop one of these on and just have it on in the background, right? But yeah, somebody's going to Malta in January and I had to look it up on my map. Yeah, I don't know where that is, but I'm going to find out. I love that, you know? Okay, notice this too with your teens room. You're organizing my teens room. All right, you guys, let me just plant this seed because I have a client that has a teenage daughter. She's 16 years old and 16 is getting ready to be an adult, right? So what I would offer to you guys is get your teen involved in the decluttering of their own lives. Decluttering, everybody, no matter how old you are, decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering is something that if we knew how to do it and it was a skill in our wheelhouse, we would not be here on TikTok looking at this live. We'd be doing something else. That's okay. But decluttering is a skill that can be taught, and it is something that will benefit you for the rest of your life. Because what it is at the core of it, notice I'm talking about like the core, the center of it all is, what is this thing in my life? Do I want it or not? And if I want it, where do I want to put it so that I can easily find it? And if I don't want it, how can I easily get it out of my life so it's not cluttering it up, right? Think about involving your teen in their decluttering and use the process that I use with my clients and I'm using with you, is get together with them and say, how do you want your room to look and feel? If this was your apartment, practice having it be their apartment or their dorm room. How do they, because you're pushing them out of the little birdie nest, right? You want them to be prepared to fly on their own without somebody cleaning their room. So just notice it. And even I say when I coach is everybody who lives in the household should be participating in the decluttering and the maintenance. Notice I'm like decluttering. That's whittling away at the stuff that is what do you call it? That has accumulated, but it's also changing. It's also changing the habits of what you do every day, so it doesn't reclutter. Everybody in the house will benefit from when you do that, right? I love it. Coffee talk, love it. Where are you located? I'm in Pennsylvania, but I'm located on the internet. I'm all over the world. And little black dog, yeah, Masha Brady. Notice. I'm also from the Boston area, so occasionally that will slip out. But Marsha Brady and Davy Jones, yeah, what are you, my twin? We're probably Gen X. We probably watched the Brady Bunch, and I was a huge Monkees fan, so there we go. Okay, there we go. I'm so glad you're saying this. I've been torn between my urge to purge and holding on to mementos. Here's the thing I want to offer, strong silver soul sister, rock on. I will be getting more into the deep dive of nothing but sentimental clutter. Within like 12 minutes. As I said, I'm going to shut this one off because this is general. And then I decided that I'm going to walk into the other room. We're just going to talk about sentimental clutter. But what I want to offer is just this thought that there's a difference between clutter. There's difference between curated, sorted, decision-made things that you are saving of a sentimental nature versus a box of stuff that you haven't looked at and made decisions on, right? So just notice that and honor that. Now, I say this when I see Marianne Siebler is saying, I lost my 27-year-old son. Oh, that sucks. It's hard to get rid of his things, even baby things that I've kept. Of course it is. Of course it is, my dear, because God, I would cry about that loss. So young. You're going to feel feels. Nobody says you have to get rid of things. But what I would offer is go through the stuff and maybe pack it away. Maybe. It's up to you. Notice that your sentimental items are going to make you feel feelings, and feeling feelings is part of being human. When you try to avoid feeling the feelings, that's when things can get jammed up. It's kind of like when you get jammed up in your body, right? Having a good cry, throwing up, letting it all out helps you heal, helps you feel better. So what I say with sentimental clutter is do a little bit at a time when you feel ready. If it's too raw, don't do it just yet. you know, put the things away. Know that there's their stuff, but you need to heal. You know, you can't be helping somebody else when you're still broken yourself, okay? Tom the Carpenter says, how do you balance declutter with someone who can't find what they can't see? So this is an interesting thing. I will say, I know that there's kind of that ADHD, out of sight, out of mind type of thing, but I will also offer, there's a balance between these things. There are some things, there's evidence in everybody's life of things that are out of sight that are not out of mind. I bet everybody has a silverware drawer. Most people have a silverware drawer, and you know if you need a spoon or a knife or a fork, you know exactly where to go, even though that drawer is shut. So object permanence is a habit. So just notice that if you have the habit, if you've told yourself, I don't know where it is if I can't see it, you're going to put things out, and you're never going to practice learning where they are behind doors or in drawers. Now, your house can look however you want. If it helps you to have everything out and see it, that's great. I find sometimes with myself and my clients, however, that you also get stuff blindness. And it also is very taxing on your physical brain and how it works, because it is creating the image of all of these items on the movie screen of your brain at all times. So it can be overwhelming to your brain and exhausting to have everything out all the time. So what I want to offer is practice. Get yourself into the practice and see if you can learn to find stuff where it isn't, to know where it is, to make that connection, to pave a new neural pathway in your brain. You know, now sometimes it is helpful to have certain things out, but not all the time. The stuff that you use frequently should probably be out just for ease of access. You know, I have, let's see, what do we have? We have our, I don't even know, like something. Oh, like our knife block. We use the knives all the time. So the knives are not in a drawer, they're in a knife block, because we can just grab the big knife and chop stuff away, put it away, easy peasy. I don't have for some reason, the image of like my Christmas tree stand, I don't have that out on the kitchen table because I only use it infrequently. So it's away in storage until I need it. And when I need it, I know where it is so I can go get it. All right. So just notice that, experiment with and play with. I like to make it fun. I like to make it playful. And I will say, experiment with practicing of putting something away and saying, I put it away. And here's the difference. And this is what I work with my one-on-one clients. I put something away in a place that made sense to me, so I know where it is. So I know where it is. Where would my brain go to look for saran wrap? Where would my brain look for the mixing bowls? Where would my brain go to look for my passport? Where would my brain, and then honor your brain and how it works and put it where it makes sense to you. Okay? So there's that. A couple of good stuff. What do we have here? Yeah, when the time is right, you will release it. And here's the thing too, and I'm going to get into this. I feel like I've got a whole bunch of stuff I want to say about sentimental clutter, and I will in about 7 minutes. But all of the decluttering is about you. When you declutter your life, you will have a positive ripple effect on everybody. So like I had a comment on one of my things today about please, oh please, go through your stuff, because I am the daughter of somebody who passed away, and it's been a real struggle to go through their stuff. When you go through your stuff, you have already sorted the wheat from the chaff. You have made decisions, and you should communicate those decisions with the people around you so they know what to do with your stuff, so they don't have to be through indecision. Just notice that. Silver Fox 143 is, I put things where they make sense to you, but my husband moves them. Because you know what? It probably doesn't make sense to him. Have a conversation with your husband. My husband is in the other room right here. We have these conversations all the time. Where's a place where this thing can go that makes sense to the both of us? Okay, I have a cupboard for my dishes, but I can't see them. So I put them under my island and I can see them. Awesome. If that works for you, rock on. Do not feel like you need to do anything because somebody else says you have to. If you can find your stuff easily, if it looks good to you, if it feels good to you, and if it functions well to you, win. It's when those three things are out of alignment. If you look and say, ugh, that looks crappy to me. If you feel, ugh, I feel crappy when I look at that. And then, oh, I can't find things easily. That's when things are out of whack. That's when decluttering and kind of organizing can help you. But decluttering is the getting rid of the stuff, moving the things that don't serve you, getting them out of your life so you have room to have your home look better, feel better, and function better. How do you organize your daily mail, bills, and important papers? Want to be organized, need ideas. Swim Lady, I will say this. I have some videos about that on my Destination Decluttered TikTok page. Like my page. Everybody, give me a love. Was it drop me a follow? I heard somebody say that and it felt weird, but if you could like my page, that'd be awesome. Thank you. What I want to suggest is create yourself a little routine. You go and you get the mail. You then open it up. Take your mail out of your envelopes ASAP. Recycle the envelope and anything in there that you don't need. Get it in the recycle bin immediately. And then categorize your mail. It probably falls into two camps immediately. Stuff that I think I need to file, and stuff that I need to do something with, action versus just filing it, right? And then file your stuff, or put it in a pile to file, and then pile to action, and then go back and action those things. Take time to take 2 minutes to store it, take 2 minutes to do the action, and then store it. Okay? Get into a habit, get into a routine. It's like doing the hustle. It's like a dance routine, right? You get into the habit of doing it. And then it becomes a routine and you don't even think about it. Somebody puts on Night Fever and the next thing you know, you're going like this, right? It's a habit. It's a routine. It goes from having to think about it all the time to just being something you do. And if you struggle with having to remember to do things, create systems and prompts that remind you to do things. Like my brain, I've been doing Duolingo for 3 years now. I still will be like, oh, that's right, I have to do Duolingo. Even though I've been doing it every day, but they send me reminders. I have it on my phone where it has a little dot. Set things up so you get the result you want with the way your brain works. Okay? You know, if you know, you know, right, LBD? All right? Isn't that funny? DFW Suburban Mom says, we put our cups in a place that made sense, but we go to the wrong cabinet every time for 8 years. Notice these things. This is the curiosity. This is what I love, is noticing, being mindful of what's working in your life and what isn't. And then what's not working, change it. Okay? There we go. Katie got a haircut yesterday inspired by you. I love it. Yeah, I got my haircut yesterday too. And it's going to grow, but I love it. There we go. Anything, if you have a motivational song for decluttering, put it on. Make decluttering fun. Decluttering can be fun. Decluttering is fun because you know what you're doing when you're decluttering? You're discovering you, who you are now. You're being reminded of who you were in the past, even if the past is yesterday. And you're saying, who am I now? What's important to me now? And you're also looking in the future to say, is this thing, because you've started with your destination, that's why I call it Destination Decluttered, you have started with the end in mind, which is how do I want my home to look and feel in the future? How do I want my life to go in the future? And me, I want to have a simple, easy life. I don't want to be doing a lot of home cluttery stuff. I'm done with that. I want to spend a lot of time traveling. I want to spend a minimum amount of time cleaning my house. And I want to make it easy for when I pass along, I've made decisions and I will instruct the people in my life to do certain things with my things, but I'm not going to guilt them into keeping them. Okay? There we go. There we go. Kate in Texas says, I listen to books on tape while I declutter. Fly, super fly. There you go. Okay, you know what? There you go. I'm going to move them and see if my spouse notices. Have fun with it. Have fun with it, okay? So I am signing off for right now, all right, for literally a minute. So don't go anywhere. If you're really interested in going and doing a deep dive on sentimental clutter, just for like a half an hour or so, it will be recorded if you need to hop off. I will share it with you on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. But in the meantime, a couple of things. Could you like my page here on TikTok? That'd be awesome. I like seeing the numbers grow because it means what I am doing is helping people. The other thing too is that if you want to get the best from what I do, get on the free Destination Decluttered email mailing list. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. You can sign up. It's free. You get a habit tracker. You get links to workshops, you get invitations to free Zooms, you get first dibs on when I'm doing coaching, all sorts of wonderful things you get just for getting on my free mailing list, okay? The other thing too is that I would be a goof if I did not tell you that I am a one-on-one decluttering life coach. If you would like me in your life once a week for 10 weeks, I am telling you, there's testimonials on my page. My current clients are getting such amazing results. It's a delight to see their lives change and their faces light up with how it feels so good when they declutter. And they just have a process. I teach a process and a method and a system so that you can use it in those 10 weeks and then use it for the rest of your life. So if you're interested in me being your coach, you can also find that out on my website, okay? Now I'm going to shut this off, but I'm literally just going to walk into my living room and sit down, and then we're going to talk about, sentimental clutter, okay? It's been awesome. I will see you guys in the other room in a minute. And let me just leave you with this. You're here. You deserve to drive towards a destination, a life that you love, a home that makes you feel good. You deserve all that. So believe in that and then get hopping in your car and let's drive forward to it, okay? I'll see you in just a minute. Bye. Bye. Bye.